I received a vision from Jesus. In this vision, I was in a room and saw Jesus. He opened a window and then went out of the room I was in and closed the door. When I tried to open the door, it was locked, but then I discerned he was leading me to go out of the window in order to exit. So I did and had to balance myself on a ledge to get to safety. Jesus spoke, "Suffering is your daily bread, my love." And I don't mean suffering just in the sense of bad and horrible things happening to you, because that's exactly what people think when they read my words and hear from others that I've called them to suffer. I mean suffering daily in dealing with inconveniences, setbacks, bodily ailments, brain fog, lack of motivation and inspiration, slandering of your name, etc. These things that you experience are also forms of suffering that I've called you to carry. Now, some of these things you bring on yourself, but I still use them in your life so that you may offer them back to me as an offering of yourself to be transformed and sanctified, my children. In regards to your vision, Dominique, it's very easy and typical to walk in and out of a door to exit or enter when you choose to. And so many people have taken the easiness of this for granted. When given the choice, every person will choose the easy option. So now I have positioned my children in this time to only enter and exit through an open window, shutting and locking doors that only prompt you to stay in your comfort zone. And by doing so, that will lead to many's salvation and elevation in the spirit. That will lead to many to receive salvation and elevation in the spirit. So many of you are not growing and you are completely stagnant and depressed with where your life is. You have no sense of direction because you haven't allowed me to lead you to my perfect will for you. The end of days is quickly approaching, and I no longer want to see my children coasting through life and making no growth in their spirit. Accept the daily bread of suffering and offer each moment of suffering to me with joy and gratefulness at being chosen for the purposes of heaven and to grow in spiritual gifts and discernment. This is the way to eternity, and my heart is by sharing my cup of suffering that started so many years ago. Share my sufferings, my children. This was the end of Jesus' message. So yeah, he wants us to share his cup of suffering, which this is very biblical. You know, he tells us that we will suffer in this life because we are his children, but when we leave this earth, we will also be glorified in heaven with him because we took the cup of suffering, because we were able to share that with him and we were able to endure life's trials and setbacks. So we can't always look for the easy way out to things. And I know this was definitely something that I did a lot of, right? I would always try to find an easy way out. And God wouldn't let me, like in this vision. It was like, oh, okay, Jesus went out the door, so let me just go out that way because I know in my mind to enter and exit a place, you have to walk through a door, right? We all think that. However, Jesus switched it up and he said, no, I want you to exit through the window. And you may think this sounds a little weird, right? But as Jesus pointed out, we have to be willing to step outside of our comfort zone. And this is the only way that we can do that. This is the only way that we can grow and truly be sanctified is by being willing to be uncomfortable, being willing to suffer and to share the cup of suffering with Jesus because he suffered for us so we can have life and have it more abundantly. So I pray that you be encouraged by this word, by this vision, to not just seek out comfort, but in any area, asking for God to help you to grow the way he's calling you to grow, but also help you to not just play it safe in your life and, to do the hard things. Okay? So God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you in the next message.